This is the Summer Palace. I took a boat up from the south to come in the south corner by the Xihua Bridge. And this is, I think, South Lake Island, where the temple to the Dragon King temple is. So I read this history in my last video walking up here, and I didn't get too much into this stuff. I came from over by Wanshu Temple and Purple Bamboo Park. If you're using the Lonely Planet, they may update it, but Wuda Temple's closed for renovation, so that wasted my morning. And then some of the late morning and afternoon went to Wanshu Temple, and they tell you to walk back through the park. Since the closest metro stop is National Library, I recommend you walk through Purple Bamboo Park, go to Wanshu Temple, and there's a wharf for the boat here, right across from Purple Bamboo Temple. You don't need to waste a half hour going back and getting the boat at Purple Bamboo Park, because it's going to stop anyway at that second wharf. This is the route we took to get up here on the Chenghe Canal. It's the route that the Empress would have followed and the Emperor on their way here. So you can go to this wharf instead of going back to this one and waiting. You know, it's a 20-minute walk, then you gotta wait here 15 minutes, and you gotta wait here 15 minutes for this to load. So you might as well just walk across here and you can be on the boat, and if you're lucky, leave within 5 minutes. Let's see how long it took. From getting on the boat, it was about 50 minutes to get here. So with the walk, it was over an hour. So I'll take the metro back, line 4 back, but so here we are now. It's 2 o'clock. I'm gonna go out onto 17 Arch Bridge and Dragon King Temple. I passed by Phoenix Mound on the way here. Xiuyi Bridge. I'll pass by Bronze Ox and the toilet. And then I'll stop by Wangchang Temple, Hall of Benevolence. It's the East Gate entrance. T1 House. North Palace Gate, Longevity Hill. So I'll go through Longevity Hill. And somewhere in here, there's the area where Qianlong, the Suzhou Street, where Qianlong liked to play dress up and pretend he was a shopkeeper. I think it's up here somewhere. I bought a map. I don't know how useful it's going to be. Take a look at it now. I hate using a guidebook and you waste all that time reading the guidebook like I did this morning with the Lonely Planet. I did my diligence, I read it, I highlighted it, and it was wrong. It wasted my time. It wasted over a half hour of my time, not to mention the time I spent reading it. It's a bit ridiculous, you know? Yeah, it's modeled after Westlake, and Sioux Dike, or Sioux D in Westlake is what the Pines and Cypresses is what the causeway is after. Originally it was called Garden of Clear Ripples. 1860, Anglo-French forces storm it, loot it, burn it down. Then again, Allied 8 power forces in the Boxer Rebellion, 1900. So it was rebuilt in twice. So built 3 times. The first time rebuilt and then rebuilt again. Now it's a UNESCO Heritage Site. So we're gonna go here, Dragon King Temple, Hall of Embracing the Universe, Bronze Ox Heads, boat ride, Kunlun stone tablet. I want to make sure I see this. The Wangchang Gallery. East Palace Gate. Garden of Virtue Harmony. Purple Cloud Tower Gate. Suzhou Street, yeah, it's up here. Scenic area, pictures of farming and weaving. There's a bunch of stuff down here. Heralding the Spring, Wangcheng Tower. In the shape of a city gate. Scenic area for farming and weaving. Shows areas from the Jiangnan area by the south of the Yangtze River. So there was a Navy Academy there, huh? Interesting. Suzhou Street. It's weird that they charge admission to the shopping street. You'd think they'd want to get as many tourists there as they can. The long corridor, that's one of the highlights, it says, on the Lonely Planet. 17 Arch Bridge. Looks like a rainbow. Jade Belt Bridge. Is that the one I went by first when I first came in? Well, I thought they would talk about the dragon temple, but apparently not. Look at this unwieldy thing. Let's see. Summer Palace. Here, let's stick this here. This here. When I got off the boat, most of the people on my boat were tour group people. And I got shuffled right into the tourist line to go in to the entrance, and I thought, oh, well, maybe I could go in the entrance anyway then to the park through here. And they, you know, spot me real quick. They're like, no, 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 no. I think things like this, unless you get here at 8:30 when they first open, pretty much gonna have a shit experience because of all the crowds. It's been my experience. I don't know if the audio guide is English or Chinese. Assume they have an English version. It's annoying to pay $40 a night for a place to stay and then have it turn into an hour-and-a-half commute each way every day. And it's not like you have a standard commute that you're used to, so you can like relax and sit and read a book. Every day I go somewhere, I've got to read the guidebook, stress myself out. How do I get from point A to point B? I got to read the guidebook, I got to look at a map, I got to look it up on Google Maps, you know. I've got to see if it's a more efficient route to go this way versus that way, blah blah blah. Then I gotta go there, it takes an hour and a half, switching on the metro, you can't relax. You can read your guidebook a little bit, but it's hard to relax because you gotta make sure you don't miss your stop. You have to make 3 or 4 connections, blah blah blah. Go through security on the metro here, that's a hassle, I hate that. And you feel like you're paying all this money and 3 hours of your day is going towards a hellish commute. And it never gets better. Every day is different. Whereas when I was traveling around in my van, I didn't give a shit about any of that. I was going around America, so I was familiar with everywhere I was going because I had a pretty good education. I didn't have a great education, but I was smart enough not to need to like read history on like every state I went to, you know? I could get what I could get from the exhibits because I could read and understand everything I was seeing. So I didn't have to worry about not being able to understand, you know, the translation of the exhibits and know what I'm looking at. And so all I had was a little AAA guidebook. I also didn't care about eating cuisines and all that. I grew up in New York, so I pretty much had Sichuan and Cantonese and Uyghur, and I've had all that shit, you know? I don't need to go out of my way to taste it. If it's close by and it's cheap, I'll taste it and have some dinner, but I didn't have to plan any of that stuff in the United States. I just eat at Subway every night. It made it a lot easier to travel to places when you could just put your destination in a GPS. And it was usually, the GPS was usually already had the destination programmed in. So it took 10 seconds to find it. So Summer Palace is like obnoxiously crowded. I can't imagine coming here on a public holiday. Hangzhou was a nice city. If you went away from Westlake, it had, you know, all the same nastiness of any city in China, but at least there was redeeming factors to be had at Westlake. It makes for a nice vacation, I think. Plus you meet a lot of other people there who are also on vacation, who are Chinese tourists, so that's nice. You meet a lot of people here too in Beijing, but they're all on tours. They're all on big tour groups. In Hangzhou, it was really easy to meet like people traveling by themselves for a vacation, you know. I'm sure they had tour groups there too, but didn't feel like it. Here in Beijing, almost every destination I go to has a tour group come through the museum with a loudspeaker. Suzhou had that problem. They're so close to Shanghai. They had tour groups coming through with loudspeakers through the gardens. Garden of Clear Ripples restored by Empress Shishi, 1886. Closed door government, Puyi. Personal garden. The Shanghai Revolution in 1911 was this? This shows the relationship between Puyi and the Summer Palace and Empress Dowager.
So.
Look at her nails. So really more of a gift shop in there than anything else. The Hall of Embracing the Universe, Han Shu Tong. Originally a 3-story building named Hall for Watching the Moon Toad, completed in Emperor Qianlong's reign. The hall was rebuilt with just one floor during the reign of Emperor Jia Qing. Became a wonderful place for emperors and empresses to enjoy the moonlight during summer and autumn evenings. From here, Emperor Qianlong watched naval maneuvers of the tough and sharp regiment of the Fragrant Hills burned down by the Anglo-French Allied forces in 1860. The hall was rebuilt during Emperor Guangxu's reign. Empress Dowager Cixi also sat here to watch Naval Academy maneuvers. I feel like I have to rush now through the whole palace, summer palace, because of the 40 minutes I wasted, 50 minutes. Doesn't seem like much, and for most people it wouldn't be, but if you're like me and you're pretty good at planning your day out and having an idea of how far it's going to take you to walk through something and go at a leisurely pace and not rush yourself to see everything, you know? Because a lot of people who aren't into reading everything don't realize, like, the actual time it takes to get somewhere and see the different parts around here. If you were going to go see all the highlights, to actually go through them and take your time to see them, if you added it in, it might only be an extra hour or two that it would take to be leisurely about it and read everything in the exhibit. Most of that time that you spend goes towards getting there, you know? And so if you're going to bother to do that, you might as well factor in a little extra time, get up early, don't waste time on stupid stuff. But it goes out the window if you, like, you know, I went to bed an hour later last night because I was making sure I had the guidebook read and all that, and then it ends up being a total waste anyway. It's like you're better off just going. My big philosophy in life is to get up early. Because if you get up early and get an early start, this place opened at 8:30, you know? You can avoid all that. I guess we'll make a loop around. That way I feel like I visited everything. I don't want to miss the Dragon King Temple. Is this a dead end here? Looks like it's just a dead end, huh? Unless there's a secret door that I don't know about. The air quality is pretty good today, but I'm still wearing my mask. Sometimes I feel like Michael Jackson. I've got the mask and the umbrella now, which seems a bit ridiculous. I used to think it was weird that Michael Jackson had the umbrella and the mask when I was a kid and I was a lifeguard and I was getting a tan every day. Then you get a little bit of vitiligo, you know, anybody who spends that much time in the sun, even if they're dark-skinned. And you think, oh shit, I'll use an umbrella too. And then the mask is kind of weird. I thought it was weird when I first saw everybody who was going to Asia. When I went to Asia, everyone's wearing one. I think it started during the SARS outbreak. Everyone started wearing those masks. And now everybody wears them, I think, somewhat out of habit. The surgical mask, I see a lot of people wearing a surgical mask around town. That doesn't give you any protection from the airborne particles, the particulate matter that's getting in your lungs and all that. I think the where's the Dragon Temple then? Is it this one here? I guess. Not down that way. Maybe it's closed off for refurbishment. I guess they have it closed. That must be it there. So I guess I'll go back this way. When I walked around Beihai Park, I didn't get a whole lot out of it. I went up to the White Dagoba and all that. It was pretty, but I guess it's a good thing that a lot of things are being restored in Beijing. I was appalled at how many things here were closed for renovation when I came through. The Drum and Bell Tower were closed. I think almost every day I've tried to go to something like a temple or something like that, and it's been closed for renovation, and I think, what the hell? Then you have to remember a lot of this stuff was really neglected. And now they're just getting to the point where they realize what a boon for tourist revenue it would be to have all this stuff open. And so they're starting to restore it. So that's good, but it still means if you visit here and you want to see a neighborhood and see everything in it, it's going to be tough, since at least one or two things are probably going to be closed for renovation. It is a little slice of Hangzhou, though, if you don't have time to go to Zhejiang province. Those people are playing around with their loudspeaker. That's the kind of stuff you have to put up with in China. The things here, it's almost like, I think, in Asia, the Chinese are like the Americans of the Western Hemisphere. Real obnoxious in tour groups when they come through. Ill-mannered on the airplane, my God. Ask any flight attendant who flies to Asia what their least favorite route is, and they'll all tell you it's Beijing or Shanghai. You know, because all the international cities fly here. Ask a German airline, ask a French airline, any of the workers. They'll all tell you their least favorite flight to work. And they'll say it's because the people are rude, they spit on the floor, they fight with you. The people up front, the rich Chinese, are really demanding, rude. The ones in the back, the poor ones, are like provincial, don't flush the toilet. But it's an interesting country with a rich history, and I don't think you should talk that way as a Westerner because it sounds prejudiced given the history and treatment of China by the colonial powers. But I hate how you have to be politically correct all the time. You can't mention these things. People will tell you in private, but you can't ever mention them. You know, like people will jump down your throat. It's like, you think every Chinese person's like that? Of course not. Most of them aren't. But you just heard that guy hacking really horribly and spitting on the ground. You just heard it. Happens all the time. Now I'll tell you one of the reasons I figured out for it. The air quality here is horrible. I started doing it after a couple weeks of living in Beijing because the air quality here is so bad. You are constantly attempting to clear your throat and clear your sinuses because of all the particulate matter. You're constantly stuffed up. That's part of the problem, the poor air quality. And it makes it hard to find days like this where it's really nice out. So on the days that there are really nice days like this, these places become even more crowded because everyone says, oh my God, it's such a beautiful day. We won't have another one for a week or 2 weeks. Let's go. Let's do it, you know? Here's the bronze ox. One of the nice things about being able to record video for me is I can wander through a place a lot quicker than if I was trying to do photos. And if you're real interested in something and you want to spend a whole lot of more time but you don't have it, I think that's the gate to the street there, one of the entrances and exits. If you don't have a super duper amount of time, you can record something a lot quicker to look at it later than you can if you're trying to snap pictures of everything. I like to think that, but then when you're searching for stuff later, sometimes having the picture is easier to read than watch the video. Especially because the picture, it's easy to snap text in high definition real quick. I kind of stopped taking pictures altogether because I hate giving people my camera to take a picture of me. I used to do that, and I'd have to like tell the person exactly how to frame it and ask them to do it like a million times, and they'd still end up cutting off. To like get my shoes in the shot, they'd cut off the top of the temple, and I'd be like, I don't need my shoes in this photo, you can shoot me from the waist up. Like, I would really like to have the temple behind, you know. You'd have them do it 10 times and it would be all shaky and out of focus still. They'd drop your camera. Have people do that all the time. And you're like, ugh, it's not worth it. I have enough nice pictures of myself for Facebook. If I get one nice picture of myself every 6 months or a year somewhere around the world, that's good enough for Facebook, you know. And even the photos you take, you think you're taking such a nice photo of a place. I used to say to myself, well, I'm so complete. I visit a national park and I take a photo of everything, right? And I'm being so complete about it. So I'm making this catalog of photos. And that's true. They're decent photos. They're good enough to look back on probably in 100 years for reference or something if, you know, you needed to. And they're very complete. That I have that going for it when I visit a place. But it's a lot of work, and then you never look at all the photos, and then to manage them all, because some of them are turned sideways, you know, because of the camera didn't orientate itself right, so you have to go through them all. With the HDR mode, you can't really sell any of the photos for stock images anymore because of the filter on it. You have to shoot everything in RAW, so forget that. You have to have a big camera. So the photos really aren't good for much more than a personal memento. So then I said to myself, well, if basically what it's going to end up being is a personal memento, and no one wants to look through 1,000 photos, no one has the time. But if you make a video and you can narrate it and keep it interesting, people will sit there and watch that. And it's actually a lot more interesting because at the same time that I'm bullshitting here and talking, you get a lot for your money. You're getting Chinese people walking by, you're getting the full flavor of what it's like to be somewhere, you know, aside from the smell, which most of the time in China is not the greatest thing in summer, especially in the hutongs, lack of sanitation. But you actually do get a lot. And then actually, if you know, you're into like documentation, historically this actually is much more valuable, I would think, than just having 1,000 photos of, you know, the most scenic vistas and that sort of thing. It is nice to like pick out like a dozen or 2 dozen photos of a trip, you know, to show people. That's nice. I kind of miss that. But the most beautiful places, I still can't help myself from stopping and taking a picture, you know. And now I can actually take pictures in this app, so it's not so bad. And I think they copy directly to my camera roll, so it's not too bad. So I can still take pictures. I used to have to stop recording to take one, so I hardly took any, you know. At the end of the day, you have to look at it like this: is it interfering with my experience of a place? When I was first doing it, I think it really enhanced my experience of a place, because instead of wandering around purposely at stuff, I started thinking about what the best way is to move through a place. What's the purpose of being there, you know? And how do I interpret the information, you know, that's coming to me? And at the end of the day, will I be able to hold this in my head comprehensively as a memory? Some people like just having like a beautiful memory. They don't know where they were, they don't know anything about it, they have no perspective on it. It was just pretty and they enjoyed it. I can't do that, you know. If I went somewhere and I didn't know where I was going, somebody was taking me by the hand, I just wouldn't enjoy it in that same way that if I planned it out myself and did it, and I did it in a comprehensive manner, So I got to see most or all of a place and not feel like, oh, it was so beautiful, can't wait to go back. That's what you hear from people who go on vacation. How was Puerto Rico? Oh, it's so beautiful, I can't wait to go back. The reality is you'll never go back there. So if there are things that you really wanted to do and see while you were there, you probably should have gotten up early and tried to do those things, you know, or at least gotten the flavor of a place, you know, not in a resort or something, but you could honestly just fly to your closest big hotel and stay in if that's what you want to do. Drive to your closest resort. But actually like gotten the true flavor of what it's like to be somewhere, you know. And a lot of it is like wasting that hour and a half on the subway getting there, that kind of stuff. And if you could do what I do and turn it into a game of like recording GPS tracks and Galileo and all that, it does make it interesting and fun, and you walk away with a nice little memento, digital memento. The weird thing about it is it's hard to share those things. If you have a t-shirt, you can wear your t-shirt, people will see it. If you have a bunch of videos that no one really wants to watch, or some like digital map, it's really hard to share. But then again, it's highly personalized, you know. If I want to come back to this place and I've got my digital map of it, it's a lot easier for me to use that to enjoy and say, oh yeah, that's where I went and this is how I got there, right? I have it all mapped out already. Like, you like to think that you know a city real good, but 6 months goes by, you forget a lot. Having that map to look at really helps. That's a stone boat pillar there, holding up that bridge. So it seems like a lot of what is here is stuff that I'm just walking right by on the lake. I feel like I missed something. No, I'm just walking along here. There's nothing to see for a little further here. This is the first gallery in the Hall of Benevolence. There's a little more up here to see. So far, it's just a lot of walking. So I've got 2 hours till they close, about 2.5 hours. I should be able to get around to the northwest corner of the lake. Whew. The Wenchang Tower, largest of the 6 gate forts in the Summer Palace Garden. The Wenchang Tower was first built in 1750 and rebuilt under Emperor Guangxu after the Anglo-French Allied forces burned it down in 1860. A bronze statue of the god Wenchang and statues of 2 followers, the Celestial Boy and Bronze Steed, were placed in the 2-story pavilion. This tower is paired with the Tower of Cloud-Retaining Eaves, located to the west of Longevity Hill, in which a stone statue of the martial god was placed. The 2 towers symbolize the support by both scholars and warriors to the ruling emperor. And here's the gallery. Wenchang Yuan. Wenchang Gardner Gallery, located to the east of the Wenchang Tower in the Summer Palace. The Wenchang Gallery is the largest and most impressive gallery of its kind in any classical Chinese garden. On display in its 6 halls are thousands of artifacts extracted from the Summer Palace, covering 3,600 years, from the Shang and Zhou dynasties to the fall of the Qing dynasty in 1911. The exhibits include bronzeware, jewelry, chinaware, furniture, paintings, calligraphy, ancient books, enamels, clocks, handicrafts made of gold, silver, bamboo, wood, ivory, horn, and lacquer, and other miscellaneous items representing almost all types of Chinese antiques, as one would expect in an imperial garden. These artifacts demonstrate the highest techniques and craftsmanship of their times, and many were once highly important symbols of the state. Also on display in the halls are objects related to everyday life of emperors and empresses in the Qing court. They are of great historical value and provide some of the most reliable material evidence of the court culture in imperial China. The General Gallery. Blue jade, 7 Buddhist statues offering holder, bronze wine vessel with 3 bull heads. Wenchang Gallery, porcelain gallery, boat-shaped jewelry box, imperial study. This is my through ticket. 8:30 to 5. What's this? Monitoring center, that's the office. Wenchang Yuan, located to the east of the Wenchang Tower. Wenchang Gallery is the largest, most impressive gallery of its kind in any classical Chinese garden. On display 6 halls, blah blah blah, repeat of what we just read. Let's see the map here. General Gallery, miscellaneous gallery to the left, bronze gallery and back to the left, to the right and back jade gallery, porcelain gallery to the far right, and imperial study is here. Well, that looks closed. I see people going in that one. Why don't we do the main hall first, huh? White jade teapot. White jade vase. This is a brush washer. Daguang rain. Here's a jade bee in a screen. The jade dates back to the Western Han. This is a flat bottle. Jade, green jade elephant ear flat bottle with lung veins. Five-clawed imperial dragon. Only the emperor could have 5 claws on the dragon. Prince Gong got his mansion taken away for abusing those silly rules. Female rose, pine crane, xiaofeng. Female rose just means bright colors. Usually it's got stuff with peaches on it. But it's anything with colors. Bright colors, really. Blue and white. Kangxi rain. Blue and white. Purple globular vase. Lions flying in clouds. Or, when they say long, I guess they mean dragon. Long is dragon. Prunus vase. Ming. Sweet white jade. This is from the Ming, huh? Some furniture. Long narrow table, red sandalwood, bamboo joint, middle Qing. Qing furniture tends to be more rococo with a lot of flourish, versus Ming is less decorated, since Qing coincided with the rococo baroque period. Li inscribed, name Fugu, Shang Dynasty. You can see a lot of this stuff almost anywhere you go to a big museum in China. Hu Commission, Crown Prince Bei, Western Zhou. There's a lot of it around. I went to the Sackler yesterday since it was raining up at the university, Peking University. This one's got knobs on it. Fu with nipple pattern, interlaced hydra, spring and autumn period. Ding with bowstring pattern. Hu with feather pattern, 10 rings, warring states. Here's Classon. It's a type of enamel paste inside copper rings. To separate the colors, they use copper, and then you put the enamel paste inside each area that you want colored, and then low fire temperature. That's a Qing Dynasty piece. I think it's actually a French technique. Classon means cloistered. Enamel vase, leaf and flower, butterfly. Probably came over with the French Jesuits. A gui with 1 foot long, 1 foot dragon. These are bats, it looks like, on the handles, lug handles. And dragon motif design, abstract dragon. Gui is a type of food dish. Ghost Street is named after a Gui. Up by where I'm staying near the Lama Temple, Gui Street's a popular night food district. We translate it as Ghost Street, or even the Chinese may call it that, but it's really Gui Street. A Jun with 3 bullheads, shoulder, voracious animal mask, veins on the shang. Tatui, they call that. The animal mask motif, abstract, kind of looks like the sign for the Transformer face, the Decepticon. I think that's where they got it from. Ding with 3 bullheads. Porcelain with dragon and clouds. Guangxu rain. This is probably the nicest piece I've seen in here, along with the close-on. Some of the big jade pieces they have here are amazing too, because of the size of the jade. You can't find jade like this anymore, you know? It's pretty rare. Crouching buffalo chain long rain. Here's some screens decorated with what looks like jade. Jade in China can be really a whole host of minerals, not just jadeite and nephrite like it is in the United States. You can see here they've got some lapis lazuli and lots of other stuff. What does it say there? Seasonal screens, Qing Dynasty, silver and precious stone. It's too crowded here to really sit and appreciate. I'd say these are one of the highlights too. They should have them in a more prominent position. Better light, less reflection on them. Gold tree with coral leaves and porcelain, painted porcelain figures. Gold lacquered bonsai featuring 8 fairies crossing the sea, Qing Dynasty. Yeah, they're on a boat, aren't they? They're on a barge. This looks like an automated organ plus snare drum plus I don't know what else. Music box, late Qing. And here's the highlight they show in the book, I think, guidebook. The lacquer boat. Red sandalwood boat-shaped jewelry box with jade. I was trying to record on the sly when I first came in. So I was worried they were going to yell at me. They're not even yelling at people whose flash are going off. I guess they give up doing it after it happens 100 times a day. You know, they took the Constitution off you at the Smithsonian because people just couldn't stop taking it flash photos, you know. A lot of people on vacation don't use their cameras very much. They don't know how they work. The flash is going off. So it was becoming so faded you could barely read the names of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. So they took it off view. They said they got complaints actually from citizens who are worried. It sounds odd. Let's go see the Imperial Study. There's no one at the front. I win. So you got his desk there with his pot for his scrolls. Lots of books. Let's see what's here. in these side galleries. Ah, this is the porcelain gallery. Chinese invented porcelain, Tang Dynasty, Song Dynasty, Ming Qing, Summer Palace, China ware dates back between the Yuan Dynasty and the late Qing. A glimpse of what it was like to have the China ware of the imperial family. Blue and white pear-shaped vase with rock bamboo, palm veins, Tongzhi rain. Blue and white goo, flower vase, flower veins. Here's a jue, which is a sacrificial wine vessel in bronze from the Shang Western Zhou, here reproduced during the Qing Guangxu reign. In porcelain. Blue and white platter, yellow ground paint, 9 longevity peaches, chain long reign. Porcelain plate, contrasting colors, it's wukai, or fukai, with dragons and clouds. They would do a underglaze outline in blue and then an overglaze fill color. So the contrast between the blue line and the fill color is where, is it wukai or means contrasting colors. Famille rose. I forget now. They'll probably tell us if I look at all these. They might mention it. Sankai is a 3-colored Tang pottery. Wukai means 5-colored or many-colored. And then there's fukai, I think, which means contrasting colors. Famille rose, hat stand, yellow ground, delineated lotus. That's gorgeous glaze on this one. A Jun, 3 bullheads, shoulder, in roux glaze, chain long reign. Wow. Beautiful.
都刚从那边出了，是吧？嗯。
Guanyin style Lang kiln, Kangji rain, Qing. Blue and white, Guangxu rain, gold tracery. Here's a seat for a garden. Famille rose. They call these garden stools. There's a collection of these over at that hotel in Florida, in Tampa. I have a bunch of these. Famille rose. Melon-shaped polychrome goo, auspicious animal. Got a pair of these. Ring vase, black flowers, red ground, Qing Dynasty, Tongzhi reign. Cobalt glaze on this one, it looks like peacock green glazing, Jun interlocking, Indian lotus, and palm leaf, chain long reign. Garlic head vase, green glaze after long chuan ware. Long chuan ware is like the Celadon, famous Celadon ware from down in Zhejiang province. They have the Long Chuan kiln, I think, right? I didn't go to it. It was nearby. Didn't have time. Blue and white purple prunus vase with design of dragons among waves. Kangxi rain. Porcelain jar with yellow glazing Emperor Yongzheng reign of Qing dynasty. Green glaze, eared vase with 1 foot phoenix vein. Blue and white familial rose butterfly ear gem with design of phoenix flying among flowers. Phoenix is a symbol of the Empress, the symbol of Yin, as opposed to the dragon being the symbol of the Emperor, symbol of Yang. It's like parrots or those moths, I guess, butterflies. This looks like Clisson, but I don't think it is Clisson. This is rose vase, Ruyi ear vase decorated with melon and butterfly vein, chain long rein. It looks like it is, but it's not Clisson. It could be, but it's not. Lacquer. Is this red lacquer? Female rose dome box with long phoenix vase. Made to look and resemble lacquer, I guess. Reserved panels, red ground. There's the dragon and the phoenix, the symbols of imperial authority. Prunus vase, phoenix and dragon, Jiaqing reign. I was at the area Jiaqing, I think, was born and lived in at the old summer palace a few days ago. This is a Kong-shaped vase. It's got a square outside and a round middle. Square earth and round heaven is the idea in Chinese geomancy. From Daoguang, reign of the Qing. Butterflies, familial rose, 100, design of 100 butterflies, Guangxu's reign. Guangxu in the Qing dynasty. Here's that purple and blue stuff. What do they call this again? There's a name for it. Flambe glaze, crabapple shape. There's a better name for it that I've read. The Shanghai Museum, they mention in the audio guide. Square vase with vertical flanges and an oven jun glaze. Contrasting colors. It's Fukai. Reddish. Blue and white plate with dragons and clouds flying over the sea. Familial rose. Teacups. You'd use the lid there to strain out the loose tea. Try to keep most of it out of your glass when you pour it into your sipping cup. Extended branches, golden melon veins, roses. Blue and white, porcelain. Familial rose. That key-shaped design with 5 bats is a symbol of good luck. Ba is bat. It's a homophone, close sounding for good fortune, so you see it a lot. A lot of the gardens in Suzhou had it in their floor. And the tile work. Ascending and descending dragon on this one. Interlocking Indian lotuses. Tricolor dragon. We already saw these, I think, didn't we? Yeah. So that's why it looked closed across the way. You go in the side thing of these. So I'm going to start a new video since this is over an hour now. Try to keep things around an hour as best I can.